My engineering background informed my approach to business, right? And I think a couple of things about how I try to lead anyway that I think are absolutely an artifact of how I learned in college and what I learned in college, right? In engineering, they've got something called scientific method. It's a kind of a data-driven a data-driven way to kind of look at the world around us and solve problems. Scientific method is often applied to mathematical problems, but absolutely a lot of what business problems are math problems. It's, how do I get in commercial? How do I market in a way that drives more outcomes, more sales, more impact than I otherwise would have? And what are the choices within my marketing plan and strategy that have bigger ROIs? And how do I over-index on those and under-index on those that aren't necessarily driving a lot of value or cost a lot of money? And so engineering for me has been a linchpin for how I think about business, how I think about the problems of business. But I do it from the context of not just engineering learning. I bolted on a little bit of management stuff to it, actually finance specifically stuff to it. And I think, there's a massive amount of finance literacy that's needed across most businesses, right? People need to know, hey, what's the financial consequence of the various choices that I'm taking? And, because that will inform, I think, either a better or a pivot in a way that's appropriate. So engineering. So one, data-driven analytics is kind of a part of the math there. So I usually ask for 2 or 3 clicks down on the data, help me to understand what the high level impact is we're trying to drive. What are the critical 2-3 choices that we should be thinking about that will either degrade or improve the outcomes we're trying to get after? And then how do I help provide the right resourcing and the right guidance and the right focus and the right urgency to get to the outcome we're trying to get to faster, better, more impactfully than we might have done it otherwise? That's all done with really a data engineering kind of lens for me, because I think I always loved solving problems as a kid. Now I have the privilege of solving problems that are much bigger than I ever thought I'd be solving as a kid. The thinking that underpins how you arrive at the actions you take are thoroughly underpinned by kind of an engineering, data-driven kind of construct with for me, not only an engineering-based lens, but also a finance-based lens to make sure you focus on the things that actually move the needle most instead of move the needle least. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share around just engineering background being kind of a core thought process for me. And although it's not common that you have engineers leading businesses, it ought to be. You oftentimes will have scientists that lead a business, or you'll have commercial people that lead a business, or you might even have R&D that lead a business, depending on what the real focus and how that business's culture defines itself. But most of the most impactful leaders that I've seen, they're not gut level leaders. They are data-driven leaders. They lead basis kind of an underpinning of what we think the fact base is, and they discern what the right course of action is basis the facts. And interestingly, the leaders that are able to also package that up in a charismatic way have been the ones that, I've been inspired by. The ones that have been the great storytellers are the ones I've been inspired by. And that inspiration, what I try to do is be a reasonable facsimile there too, at least on my best day anyway, because that stuff matters, right? And it's leading people is the biggest joy and challenge I think one can be saddled with and have. And I'm honored to have an opportunity to lead. I've been honored to have the opportunity to lead people in corporations where I've worked, and I've been delighted with their response.